What's good, people? What is up? What is up? They went from the fourth level of hell and sent us down to the seventh level of hell. Why? Because then you got Kwanzaa pulling out her titties. The whore pulled out her titties. And these whore bags over here started feeling and fondling on her tits. What?
I don't have it to do with you. Girl, you can go over there, rant and rave. Girl, you can shake all your rainbow bright hair all you want, dear one. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I don't have nothing to do with you, and I'm done. Baby, you can scream my name from the rooftops from now till Jesus come back. I'm done after this.
Introduced to Tick's Meat. Do you see what I see? Did y'all really hello, casting, wardrobe, y'all let him roll up out of wardrobe with these fans on, giving us all of this, thinking we were not going to see it? We have been waiting with bated breath and anticipating all season long for the slightest glimpse, and y'all just put it out there this episode in all of its magnificent glory.
Listen, that young man said, baby, you ate on this first date, you giving up the cooch on the first date, okay? Or you gonna run me my coins? Run me my cooch or run me my coins? Run me my cooch or run me my coins? Run me my cooch or run me my coins? That's our new theme song. That is the new song. Listen, somebody need to put a beat to that. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. This what y'all got going on.
Called out Sandcastle. Sand, bitch. Ow. Oh my God, it was so funny, girl. Woo, baby, listen, let me tell you something. This shit started to turn into the precursor for some gay porn. That's what I thought it was. Because Big T is getting all, the voice starting to go deeper and get a little more wet and moist and sentimental and all this shit. And it was real gay at this point. Like, I thought the bitches was going to, I thought Lil Bird was going to turn Big T around and do him like he did Uncle Cliff and do the grease it up with City Lou and ran right in there. It's not a coincidence that Big T started off the conversation by trying to find out if Lil Murder was fucking Mercedes, which he found out he's not. It's also not a coincidence that he would start talking about prison. Why? Because the bitches was probably fucking in prison. Girl. Uncle Clifford, you better go get your man. Big T got plans for that. Well, he had on look like something Big Bird vomited up or something like that. Like, I did not like it. That Big Bird couture he was going for, it did not work. Like the pastor of a gay mega church on Easter Sunday. Okay, it was way too much sequins. He had on way too much makeup. Baby, his face looked like Iyanla Vanzant's neckline. Okay, just way too much makeup, clumped here everywhere on his face. Get it together, sweetheart. Like, you're a big girl, so that gives you a whole lot of canvas. So that was a whole lot of makeup, honey. And Rico looked like he was auditioning to be one of the three kings, or he was auditioning to be the main character on Jesus Christ Superstar. Girl, Wayne, did you have on a blue thong or a blue G-string or something? If you did, I want to see Cassie. Hit me up in my DMs. I do want to see if you have a blue thong or a blue, jock strap, something like that. I'd love to see it. Anyway, but I liked it with the turtleneck. Now, Troy.
Well, hello. Hey, everybody. Hey. What's going on, y'all? We're here. We are here. Never fear. We're here. Welcome to the politics of it all. Listen, I know I owe y'all a politics of it all. We haven't did a politics of it all in like 2 weeks. So I owe y'all a politics of it all. And yesterday we had a whole lot of situations that I had to postpone that technically can fit into the politics of it all. So we just gonna do her today. Now, y'all could be mad, but we here. Let me say hi to y'all oh God, let me say hey to y'all as y'all come in. Hey, Tracy W, Lemon Kush Pepper, Shay B, Lady VSJ, Jason, what's good, bruh? Yana, what's good, my love? Montrez, what's good, bruh? I'm just saying. Actually, Lady V, I wasn't talking about Iyanla Vanzant. I was talking about Imani Vanzant. And I think I said Iyanla instead of Imani Vanzant, who was the host. That little clip was from my review of Chasing Atlanta 2 seasons ago. So what was that, season 4 or 5 or something like that, whatever season it was. And so Imani Vanzant was hosting, and she had like a lot of makeup and stuff clumped all together. Child. Jason, can you go to the Members only chat and let them know that we're live, please. Thank you. Or Tracy W. Can one of y'all go and let the members only live know that we're live? Please, thank you. Hey, Sharice, what's good, my love? So y'all listen, it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. But we're gonna break it down like only we can. Um, and we're gonna make it do what it do. We're gonna make it do what it do like only we can. We got some stuff to break down. I told y'all yesterday I was gonna have some stuff for y'all and that we was gonna wait to unpack it today. So we here today. We are here today. It's cold, y'all. Listen, it was cold this morning. I woke up, it was 29 degrees this morning. It's supposed to be like 29 or 30 degrees when I wake up tomorrow morning. I'm not here for this. I'm not here for none of this. But nevertheless, we're here. Thank you, Jason. So y'all listen. Um, hey Monk Chip, hey Boo. Shall we start with our y'all want to start the right way? Should we start with our sugar spike segment, or should we just do politics and then go into sugar spike segment? Just so you know, because I was late today, it was really B's fault. Listen, I was not late on my own accord. Really, B started yapping and yapping about her first couple years teaching back when the world was in black and white, and they used to use the abacus instead of calculators, and they used to, have, the chisel and the mallet and stone tablets and stuff back when really B first started teaching. I'm just saying. Hey Tanya, boo. Y'all know Tanya is my boo. I will fight y'all about Tanya. Um, I'm just saying. My boo Monk Chip is here. Hey everybody, glad y'all are here. So listen, do we want to do Sugar Spike's segment first? Put a 27 in the chat if you want Sugar Spike segment first. Now, because I was late because of really being, I'm gonna be nice today. Today's essay will not be really be say she ain't going live today. So we got time today. Okay. Today's essay will just be 50 words. Just 50. 50. 50. 50-word essay today. Today's late bell will be at 6:15. 6:15 is the late bell. Hey Monk Chip. Unrelated to politics, the queen of Christmas made her child, my queen, Mariah. Of course, it's time for my queen to make her, it's time post my queen, Mariah. We fight so there. Even though All I Want for Christmas is probably my least favorite song on that album. That album, Mariah sings her face off on that album. Let's be clear. And All I Want for Christmas is probably my least favorite song on that album, if I'm being honest. If I'm just being brutally honest. It's my least favorite song on that album. It is. This was my show. It took me. It's so funny that so many people are coming into Suits now instead of when it was actually on TBS. Was it TBS or USA? It was on USA. But I watched it in real time when it was actually. Hi, yeah, I'm from Texas. When it was actually on television, and it was great. It was must see TV every week. Jessica Pearson is my hoe. I will fuck a bitch up. Y'all know the actress that plays her used to be married to Larry Fishburne. They divorced now. I think they're divorced now. But I know she used to be married to Lawrence Fishburne. But yeah. Mm. As you start off hating Lewis on at the beginning of Suits, but by the time you get to the end, you learn to love Lewis because he's a necessary evil. But listen, after Jessica left, it just got stupid. I needed Jessica. Jessica was the one thing that was a bad bitch. That was a bad bitch. Y'all know I love me some Jessica. Mama didn't fuck off. I loved her. I love how every time. Harvey thought he was the smartest one in the room or the smartest one at the firm. She had to gather him real fast and check his white ass and his white privilege and say, bitch, you forgot who the fuck I am. Bitch, I taught you. I love that bitch. Shout out to Jessica. Anyway, um, it did flop. I just don't think they put enough behind it. But that's that's television. They gonna do everything they can to promote white men. But a black woman in a position of power and headline her own TV show like that, they don't want to see no parts of it. None. Anyway, oh, I didn't know some people haven't seen it yet and didn't know about oh. By the time you get to that point, Jason, you will have forgotten. You're gonna be done forget. By the time you get to that point, you'll have forgotten. Trust me, you will have forgotten by the time you get to that because that's way, way down the line. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, non-binary, gender conforming members of our audience, it is now time for your sugar spike segment.
Oh, God. You see, this is the part that I like.
Major sugar spike.
So long, well, I want to fight. Daddy gave, his only begotten son.
Major sugar spike.
And shall ever believe.
Major sugar spike.
They shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
Taste the biscuit.
Jesus!
I wish somebody help me.
Yes. Taste the biscuits. Hey, Tracy C. So let's start off in the great state of Hawaii. We're going to travel over to the great state of Hawaii, where high schools in Hawaii are under fire. Let me read this to you. Some discriminatory high school athletics practices in the state of Hawaii, not in accordance with Title IX, finally, in the year of our Lord 2023, are being redressed as the state's Department of Education settles a lawsuit that female athletes and their parents brought forward a few years ago. In 2018, allegations were made that one high school's girls' water polo team was forced to practice in the ocean and run to a local Burger King to use the restroom when changing clothes. However, the boys received all the standard amenities of being part of a school's team. As reported by the New York Times, the class action lawsuit filed by girls water polo players at the James Campbell High School in Iwa Beach, Honolulu, Hawaii's largest school, felt they were systematically discriminated against based on their gender. In the settlement, the state has agreed to hire an independent evaluator to ensure gender fairness. Now the school has to follow a 7-year compliance plan and create a hotline to report discrimination. On Friday, the board agreed to a non-monetary settlement in the case. From practicing in the ocean, even when confronted with Hawaii's dangerous oceanic conditions, to using the restroom at a local Burger King and changing on the team bus, or even being exposed under the bleachers, the student athletes claimed the school did not provide a locker room per court documents. This is in the year of our Lord, 2023. Not 1923, not 1823. The boys had, quote, exclusive access to a standalone athletic locker room facility, end quote, the court papers allege, where they were able to store gear, change, shower, use the bathrooms, hold team meetings, and build team spirit. That's what the boys were allowed to do according to the court documents. Just a mess. Just a mess. Listen, I don't even need to go no further. The fact that this was allowed to go on this long baffles my mind. It just baffles my mind. You have the girls' water polo team having to have practice in the ocean. This is Hawaii. They got all kinds of stuff. There's animal, wildlife, sharks, other types of predatory animals. You got rip currents going on. You may have jellyfish or man of war. You could have all types of things that could happen out in the ocean in goddamn Hawaii. But that's where y'all got them practicing. And then they tell stories of having to either change at Burger King. Some of them had to change underneath the bleachers and stuff. Like, and this is the largest school in Hawaii. I don't want to know what's happening at some of the smaller schools where they may not have as many facilities as the larger school. This is a mess. A mess. First of all, I applaud them for having for filing the lawsuit. But where were the parents before this? The parents of the girls that had to endure this for years and years before we got to this point. Why were they not screaming holy hell? A mess. Title IX has been in place, maybe 50 years. Hold on, let me see how long Title IX been in place. Let me go. How long has Title IX been around? How long is the title? The fact that it filled it out before I even put Title IX and it automatically knew what I was going to say, and means that the people are listening. The people on the internet are listening. Anyway, Title IX was enacted on June 23rd, 1972. I told you at least 50 years, so that's 51 years Title IX has been in place. Y'all have been out of compliance for over 50 years. There are women whose grandchildren or great-grands may be on these teams that should have had Title IX enacted for them. A mess. A whole mess. A mess. That's what we have going on in the great state of Hawaii. Listen, if you are in your own school district and you notice that there's some unfairness, the boys team gets certain things and the girls team get certain things. The football teams get certain privileges, but the girls volleyball team don't get certain privileges. You got to call that out. That's a violation of Title IX. Go down there, scream, raise holy hell, and all kinds of stuff, because there's supposed to be equity in this. Back in the day, they used to say, "Oh, well, we do more for the boys team because they bring in more money into the school." It ain't about that. It's about equality, equity, not fairness, equity. You ever seen the picture? There's a picture that shows the difference between fairness and equity. Fairness says that, and it had three people of various sizes. They had a real short man, a mid-sized man, and then a tall man. And there was a fence, right? So when you looked at the fence, the fairness had everybody standing on the ground. And the short man clearly couldn't see over the fence. The mid-sized man could only see from his eyes up, and the tall man could clearly see right over the fence. Equity says that you have, on the picture with equity, they had a box underneath the short man. They had another box, smaller box underneath the mid-sized man, and no box underneath the tall man. So they all were at the same viewing level, and all of them could see what was going on. That is equity. And people don't want equity. People want what they deem is fair. They don't want equity. And equity is what we should be striving for. Hey, lovely 31 Blueprint. What's good, my love? Glad to see you here. And happy November 1st to you as well. So, y'all, let's break down this case. I teased it yesterday But I want to break this down today. Okay. So your new Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, out of the great state of Louisiana, we talked last week about the skeletons in his closet. Let's talk this week about the young lady to which he is betrothed. Louisiana Representative Mike Johnson, the newly elected Republican Speaker of the House, and his wife, Kelly Johnson, have come under scrutiny due to their shared ultra-conservative Christian beliefs, especially those regarding LGBTQ plus issues and the counseling service Kelly Johnson runs. Huffington Post reported that Kelly Johnson operates the Onward Christian Counseling Services, a counseling firm that in its operational documents equates homosexuality with bestiality and incest. The couple has been in the public eye since the late 1990s when they championed Louisiana's marriage covenant law, aiming to make divorces more challenging to obtain. And this is divorces between straight people. Their collaborative ventures continue to this day. They co-host a podcast titled Truth Be Told, wherein they discuss the social and political issues from a conservative Christian standpoint. With a collection of 69 episodes thus far, because that's appropriate, the podcast reflects their long-standing partnership in personal and ministerial endeavors. Mike Johnson, having spent 8 years as the senior attorney and national spokesperson for a legal nonprofit associated with religious conservative causes, is open about his evangelical Christian identity. In a recent conversation with Fox News' Sean Hannity, Johnson made no apologies for his faith, urging listeners to read the Bible to understand his worldviews. On her business website, Kelly Johnson not only promotes the couple's podcast, but also shares a link to the 2017 operating agreement of Onward Christian Counseling Services, according to the Huffington Post. This document reveals the company's stringent beliefs on sexual immorality, placing homosexuality, bestiality, and transgender identity in the same basket as placing homosexuality, bisexuality, and transgender identity in the same bracket as bestiality and incest. It also vehemently defends the sanctity of, quote, from conception through natural death, end quote. It goes on to say in the document, we believe and the Bible teaches that any form of sexual immorality, such as adultery, fornication, homosexuality, bisexual conduct, bestiality, incest, pornography, or any attempts to change one's sex or disagreement with one's biological sex is sinful and offensive to God. End quote. The agreement, notarized by Speaker Mike Johnson in 2017, raises questions regarding how much these beliefs might influence his political decisions, especially when his role as a constitutional lawyer with a history of opposing LGBTQ plus and women's rights in court. Although in a recent interview, Mike Johnson acknowledged the Supreme Court's authority in legalizing same-sex marriage, the clarity regarding his stance on LGBTQ plus issues and how they might impact his policy advocacy remains obscure. And it goes on and on. I don't need to tell you no more. But here's the update. Right? So yesterday, I saw this headline. Speaker Mike Johnson's wife removes website equating homosexuality to bestiality and incest. Oh, you are all of a sudden not so, beholden to your evangelical Christians' immorality viewpoints. Let me read this. Following scrutiny, Kelly Johnson, wife of newly elected House Speaker Mike Johnson, has taken down her Christian counseling website that contained documents comparing homosexuality to bestiality and incest. She took it offline. The site, representing Onward Christian Counseling Services, where Kelly Johnson serves as owner and CEO, came under scrutiny when Huffington Post unearthed documents they're likening homosexuality to bestiality and incest. The Huffington Report released on Friday a report that drew attention to a 2017 operating agreement that we just read and went through all about. But we read that they categorically group gay, bisexual, and transgender individuals alongside having sex with animals and having sex with members of your own family, because they're all just grouped together to these people. Now, that report came out Friday from the Huffington Post. By Saturday afternoon, the website was no longer accessible conveniently, because you want to whitewash yourself now that your husband is the Speaker of the House, because you don't want people to know your dirty little secrets or your dirty little history. Your husband been real open and honest about it. Y'all been screaming this shit from the rooftops since y'all got into the political fray. But now all of a sudden, your husband's Speaker of the House and you want to take it down? No, leave that shit up there. Leave that shit up there. In a further examination of the Johnsons' public and business endeavors, the Huffington Post highlighted their long-standing interconnectedness. They notably advocated for Louisiana's new marriage covenant law during the early 1990s. We talked about that. More recently, co-hosted their Truth Be Told podcast. We talked about that. So they don't even want straight people to get divorced, much less gay people get divorced. This is a mess. How can we trust that this man is going to be able to govern for everyone? It's one thing to have your political or your religious beliefs. I have no problem with you being a Christian. I have no problem with you being an evangelical Christian. The problem comes in when you want everyone to be governed by the same principles that you have. We're not all the same. Everybody doesn't have the same religion. Everybody doesn't have the same beliefs. Some people don't even have a religion. Some people are as Gnostic, or some people just don't believe in organized religion at all. I mean, but you want us to be governed by your Christian principles. I'm just saying, when asked repeatedly about his worldview, I'm going to tell you again what his stance is about his worldview. His stance is, quote, well, go pick up a Bible off your shelf and read it. That's my worldview. Hello, sir. The Bible is real old. And the things that were going on back then ain't the same things going on right now. And you can't just say pick up a Bible and it'll tell you my worldview. That's idiotic. These are the people who y'all have in positions of power. These are the people, which is why I'm telling you, it's of a lot of consequence for us to make sure that we flip the House and to make sure that we maintain the Senate. Hey, Quintessential, because left to themselves, Mike Johnson will be Speaker of the House and Mitch McConnell will be the majority leader. Now, they're feuding right now anyway. We may get to that later, but they're feuding right now. But we got to keep the Senate and the House. Tracy said the Bible is open to interpretation. I can give you three pastors that read the same thing and will tell you something different. Right. Exactly. Hey, Quintessential. I don't even think I said hey to you, Quintessential. Hey, boo. So let's get to another story that's in our another sugar spiky story. So remember in the year of our Lord 2016, during the month of June, of June, during Pride Month, where we had the largest mass killing of LGBTQ people in this country's history at the Post nightclub in the great city of Orlando, Florida. Remember that? Remember there was this, everybody came together and coalesced together behind this to stand behind these people that had been murdered. And now there was this big thing to say, you know what? We need to memorialize what happened here so that people don't forget. And we're going to create a museum based on, we're going to turn the nightclub into a museum so that we can never forget the atrocity that happened here. Remember, there was that whole thing. There's a reason this is in the Sugar Spike segment. Let me read this to you. A foundation formed to raise money for a museum at the Post nightclub shooting site announced Friday it will abandon those plans. Oh, you heard me. Let me read that sentence again. Maybe the people in the back didn't hear me. A foundation formed to raise money for a museum at the Post nightclub shooting site announced Friday it will abandon those plans. The One Post Foundation in Orlando confirmed to WFTV it will forego plans for a permanent museum. And here's what the foundation board chair, Earl Crittenden, said, quote, after careful consideration regarding the scope of our proposed projects, including conversations with victims' families, survivors, and the local community, as well as unforeseen challenges, the One Post Foundation Board of Trustees has decided it is no longer feasible to move forward with a plan to develop a museum. End of quote. I was supposed to do this story yesterday, but y'all know we had no time yesterday, so we're doing it today. The decision came days after the city of Orlando decided to make a $2 million offer to buy the nightclub site from owner Barbara Palmer. This is where the story gets more this is where the story gets interesting. Okay, story gets interesting here. So after the city decided that they were going to make a $2 million offer to buy this building, now all of a sudden y'all saying, oh well, we're going to forego the plans to make this into a museum. It also ended months of chaos after a public breakup between the foundation and the nightclub owner, Ms. Palmer, who founded the nonprofit after the 2016 shooting. Palmer said the foundation's mission would be to create a permanent memorial at the site. That's what she said when they founded this foundation in the beginning, right? The Post shooting remains the deadliest attack on LGBTQ plus people in the U.S. history. Shooter Omar Mateen entered the club on Latin night, June 12, 2016, and killed 49 people, most of them Latino or queer. Palmer founded the nightclub, opening it in 2004 in honor of a brother, John, who died of AIDS complications. Many survivors and family members of those killed in the attack have blamed poor safety measures at the club for preventing some from escaping and blocking police from easily accessing the building. The relationship between Palmer and the foundation devolved recently, and the two parted ways. The foundation for years intended to buy the site from Poma, but in financial disclosures, it discovered she had already been paid a substantial sum from insurance for her losses. Mama had already been paid for her losses. Insurance company had to took care of her. Quote, the One Post Foundation Board of Trustees found it no longer appropriate to pay the Pomas for the nightclub property after recently discovered that insurance proceeds paid off debt for the nightclub and asked for a full donation from them and their business partner, Michael Panaggio. One Post Foundation spokesperson Scott Bowman told the Orlando NBC affiliate. So she was not only paid by the insurance company, the debt for the nightclub was not only paid off, but also was given a sizable donation from said insurance company, which she got, which is why the foundation said, hey, boo, you helped us. You were part of us when we started this foundation. Why do we need to be paying you and buying the building from you when you've already been paid off? If you truly are here for what you said you were here for, turning this into a permanent memorial to remember the victims, and you don't already been paid off, the debts have been paid off, and you got a sizable donation, why are you asking a non-for-profit to pay you for the building? A non-for-profit, mind you, that you helped form for the purpose of turning it into a museum. A mess. The city now plans to buy the land from Poma. Notably, the $2 million offer is less than a sum Poma rejected months after the shooting. So she they offered her money earlier and she rejected that. They offered her a lot more money earlier and she said no. But now she's okay with taking the $2 million. Y'all see what's happening here, right? Y'all see what's happening here, right? Survivors of the attacks have increasingly been publicly at odds with the One Post Foundation, which has announced little progress on a memorial over its 7-year existence. Quote, Poma and Pulse and the Poma legacy have always been about how to flip a profit, end quote. And that's what Christopher Hansen said, who's a survivor of the attack, not to be confused with Christopher Hansen from How to Catch a Predator. That's a whole nother man. He went on to say, quote, she even sold the club to her LLC for $100. Let me read that again. She even sold the club to her LLC for $100. So where exactly is that in the media for her wanting to ensure something happens for our community in honoring those affected by her place of business that was full of illegal violations, renovations, and entrepreneurship? End of quote. The people say, we're not here for this. We're not here for this at all. They're not here for it. Poma told WESH in Orlando this summer that she and her husband were willing to donate their share of the land to the foundation, but that a business partner was not interested in doing so. The One Post Foundation still lists the creation of a museum as a project on its website. The foundation opened an interim memorial on the site 7 years ago. City officials intend to set up a memorial to the victims, but not a museum. Somebody getting money. It's a whole lot of people getting money under the table. Hey, Stiggs girl. The woman conveniently sold the business to her LLC for $100. Now the building is being sold from the LLC, and that building is being sold for $2 million, dramatically less than the offer that the city made to them in 2016. Just a mess. After she already had the building paid off by insurance and got a sizable donation. I'd love to see what that sizable donation from the insurance company was. Y'all see what's going on here. Now you know the city ain't gonna be about shit. The city ain't shit. Oh, we're gonna make a memorial to them, but we're not gonna do a um a museum anymore. And they're gonna put some small little thing somewhere, hidden somewhere where it's hard to find and hard to see. And they're gonna say, "Oh, we made the memorial. Just go on back there, turn the corner, go behind the tree, over the wood river, and through the woods to grandfather's house. We go to find this memorial. No museum in sight." Mind you, the man told y'all the lady had all kinds of violations and all kinds of things. That was the whole reason why so many people lost their lives. I've been in the Post nightclub before this happened. I've been to Post nightclub a few times, and it was a death trap. I always talked about that. I said this place is a real death trap. If a fire go off or anything, it's only one way in and one way out. I always said that about Post nightclub. Just a mess. Just a mess. Anyway, in other sugar spiky news, a Connecticut officer who shocked a lifting suspect 3 times is being charged with assault and cruelty. At least we got some good news. Let me read this to you. A Connecticut police officer who shocked a shoplifting suspect 3 times with a stun gun, including when the man was on the ground apologizing, has been charged with third-degree assault, and cruelty. Naugatuck officer Nicholas Cahos turned himself into state police on Monday after an arrest warrant was issued, state police said yesterday. He is free after posting a $50,000 bond and is due in court on November 8th. Cahos did not return emails Monday or Tuesday when this news outlet was seeking comment. The officer became the subject of an investigation after a body camera video showed him chasing Jarrell Day, 33, of Waterbury, in a field on October 14th and shocking him 3 times with a stun gun, including when the man was on the ground apologizing. The video released Monday also shows Cahos telling Day to shut up and calling him an idiot during the arrest. Police said Day was suspected of stealing $200 worth of beer in a robbery at a Naugatuck grocery store and later rammed police cruisers with a car as he fled from officers. Day crashed the car and fled on foot, but Cahos caught up to him, according to the video. Day was showing his hands when Cahos ordered him to get on the ground and first fired the stun gun, the video shows. Let me read that again. Jarrell Day was showing his hands when Cahos ordered him to get on the ground and first fired the stun gun. So before the first he was fired the first time with the stun gun, the man was already showing you his hands. He had already surrendered. A mess. Jarrell Day falls to the ground and Cahos orders him to get on his stomach. Jarrell Day rolls onto his side and tells the officer he is sorry, and Cahos continues to yell at him to get on his stomach and pulls the stun gun trigger a second time, the video shows. Cahos then orders Day to put his hands behind his back, according to the video. Day pleads, no, please. Just before Cahos pulls the trigger a third time as the officer warns him that he is going to use the stun gun again, the video shows. Neither Jarrell Day nor officers were injured in the series of events. Jarrell Day remains in custody on charges of multiple cases, including robbery, attempted assault of a police officer, and reckless driving. Cahos is on paid leave. Let me say that again. Cahos is still on paid leave pending the investigations. So you can assault people and still get paid. This is what y'all got going on in these yet to be United States of America. There is video. I'm not going to show the video, but there is video. There is video of him um, um, shooting him with the stun gun. I am not going to show the video, but this is what y'all got going on. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think that's all my sugar spiky stories. I got some other stories that we need to cover. That's all my spiky stories. I'm gonna say Vladimir Putin for last. Okay, I'm gonna say Vladimir Putin for last. So, um, let's get to this case. No, we do have one more sugar spiky story. Oh no, I did this one yesterday. We talked about the Department of Justice um going after the Jacksonville Police Department. We did talk about that. Hold on. All right. So, in other sugar spiky news, more than 100 Seattle high school students protested unsatisfactory punishment of football players who texted, quote, creepy, weird, and predatory, end quote, messages directed at female students. Let me read this to you. An I can't even read today, y'all. An unspecified number of students, including football players, have been suspended from Seattle's Chief Sealth International High School in connection with threatening text messages talking about violating female students, according to report. Screenshots of text messages sent in a group chat consisting primarily of sophomore boys on the school's football team um, were posted on Instagram. That's how parents and other students found out and alerted the administration. Um, Last Friday, more than 100 students walked out of school to protest what they feel was inadequate punishment by the school and not enough being done to prioritize the safety of students. Students who participated gathered on the football field for more than 2 hours demanding action. The students protesting claimed officials are not doing enough to stop what they call an ongoing problem of harassment and sexual assault at the school. School principal Ray Morales wrote a letter which can be found on the school's website where he said he takes the safety and well-being of students seriously. But a senior at the school wrote an email in response to um, Morales, and in that email he said, quote, I'm a 12th grade student at Chief Sealth International High School. At our school, some of the boys on our football team and in general have been known to sexually assault, catcall, and harass women, as well as yell slurs and hate crime queer and other students. The only thing that has happened to these boys up to this point has been a slap on the wrist, and events like this continue to occur. End of quote. Listen, the students said they're not here for it anymore. One of the screenshots said that they wanted to, quote, bend her over, and we want to they said about one young lady, oh, we want to bend her over and we want to rip her pants off, end quote. That's what they said about one of the girls in the school. Now listen, I understand the whole boys will be boys, but clearly it shows you where these kids are, that these are 10th graders and this is where they are. Now I'm not saying that 10th graders have always been great. I'm not saying when I was in 10th grade we were wholesome and all that, because we were not. What I am saying is you got to know this is 2023. And there's a leak in this old building, as the old church song goes. There's a leak in this old building. If you send it to a group chat, how do screenshots of that group chat end up on Instagram? Y'all got to choose better friends. If you're going to be sexual deviants and hang in your little sexual deviant groups, you think you may want to do a better job of not having a leak in this whole building. Now, I'm glad it got out. It's a great thing that it got out so that the world sees you for who and what you are. And I absolutely agree that they do need to take action on this. However, the school is in a situation where if it didn't happen on school grounds, if it didn't happen during the school day, how far they can go with this. And so I think that's where, in terms of that specific, screenshot of that group chat goes. But if these boys are doing like the students say, they're harassing girls, doing cat calls, using charged language at LGBTQ students and other students, then those things need to be swiftly dealt with, because clearly those things are happening at school and they can be swiftly dealt with and be dealt with in a manner so that the people doing it and those around them know, yeah, this ain't what you want to this ain't what you want to do. I'm gonna tell you, I used to have in my classroom, my philosophy was you kill a gnat with a sledgehammer, meaning for the smallest of sins, you have the worst punishments. So as to tell all of the other gnats and flies flying around, that ain't the one over there you want to play with. You might want to go to somebody else's class and play with them, but this ain't the one you want to play with. That's why you kill a gnat with a sledgehammer. So all the other gnats and flies and little critters flying around understand, yeah, we need to find somewhere else to go, because he ain't playing around. And that's how you have to handle that. It does sound like it's escalating. And the fact that they just give them a slap on the wrist, those kids said enough is enough, because this is not going to stop. They feel emboldened. They feel emboldened. Oh, that's all we get. Oh, that's it. All right, well, good then. I can handle that. And it means that the things happening in school are not being properly dealt with. A mess. Shout out to the kids for saying, no, we're not dealing with this fuck shit. I ain't mad at it. I am not mad at it. Not mad at it at all. So I think that was the last of our sugar spiky stories. So let me get to the story of the teacher with that I teased yesterday. Remember yesterday I teased the story of the teacher with the OnlyFans and stuff like that. Let me get to this story. So let me read this to you. According to a report, one female teacher identified as Megan Gaither at Missouri High School, at a Missouri high school, has been suspended for having an OnlyFans page, and she had to, and she went on social media to slam authorities and brag about making $5,000 a month on OnlyFans as compared to her measly $47,000 a year salary. A second teacher, at a small Missouri high school has been, let me read this to you. A second teacher at a small Missouri high school has been suspended for having an OnlyFans page. Megan Gaither, 31, was an English teacher and varsity cheerleading coach at St. Clair High School, but she was put on leave after a student put a note under her classroom door saying they, quote, knew her secret, end Quote, the married teacher had been working at the high school for 4 years and says she started her raunchy page to supplement her income, just like her colleague Brianna Coppage, who was exposed last month. The teacher, who received a $47,500 salary last year, said she, quote, hid very well behind an alias and no face pictures, end quote, but she was outed against her will. On OnlyFans, she was making $5,000 a month. She told the Post Dispatch that the reason she turned to porn was to tide her over during the holidays. She said, quote, teaching does not financially support a person. It's really hard to stretch those paychecks during the summer. That's why I did it. End of quote. After her fellow teaching colleague was outed, Gaither deactivated her OnlyFans account, which had about 1,500 subscribers. But rumors continued to swirl. Gaither appeared in a video on Coppage's account last week after a party in town in which she was wearing a costume. But people started putting two and two together when a photo of Gaither wearing the same costume at the party was posted publicly online. She said, quote, I was in like maybe 4 minutes of the entire thing, and I definitely did not think this would be the thing that would ruin my career, end quote. So wait a minute. The lady had the OnlyFans, took the OnlyFans down. She said she never put her face, never, on there, took it down. But then went on the other teacher that had the OnlyFans on hers at the costume party. And that's how the people found her out. Ew. Okay. Despite working in the same high school department, Coppage and Gaither said they didn't know the other had an OnlyFans account until June when they let it slip to one another at a teacher's night. So wait a minute, y'all telling each other, girl, you're supposed to have gone to the grave with that. How you tell, girl? Now Gaither is considering moving out of St. Clair with her husband and reactivating her OnlyFans account. I know that's right. If you was making $5,000 a month, now how much is that? $5,000 a month is how much a year? Let me do carry the one. Carry the one, right? That's $60,000 a year, maybe. Am I off? Is my math off? I don't know. Right, Tracy, because that means that people recognize the outfit from the girl. You slipping. You was too loosey goosey with it anyway. Anyway, so she says she gonna move and reactivate this good OnlyFans. She has teamed up with her colleague Miss Coppage, and they are posing in raunchy scenes together now. Girl, make your money, honey. Girl, get it how you live. Mama said, girl, I'm making more money this way anyway. Girl, I'm gonna get it how I live. She added, quote, in order to make change, you have to make noise. And I think that is what Brianna did. And I think that's what maybe I'm getting ready to do. Make noise about how unfair teacher pay can be. Baby mama said in order to make change, you got to make noise. Yes, ma'am, honey. Gaither also wrote on Facebook, I put a lot of thought into if I should say something on here publicly. And for my own peace of mind, I think I just want to say this. I love education and teaching, and I love seeing my students and cheerleaders learn and grow into themselves. I'm damn good at helping them do that. Hell, you don't get 2 master's degrees to better your craft and help your students if you don't. So while I understand the stigma and the you signed a contract telling you how much you get paid argument, I will maintain that morality is a sliding scale, and what is moral to me may not be moral to you, and that's okay. Don't like it, don't subscribe or follow. I did not want this to happen. I hid very well behind an alias and no Facebook. The fact of the matter is, this choice was taken from me. I have multiple coworkers calling these newspapers to start my downfall here. Downfall here. Speculation about a pic and a vid with no evidence was fine, But if you are in education, you know, if media gets a hold of something like this, it's over. You'll never work in this specific field again because you're tainted and seen as a liability for a school. Again, we knew the consequences of getting caught, and I did not get caught in this in the traditional or my words. So I took back my narrative. I took control of what I could take control of. I had no time to make this decision. So to whatever thought it was their right to out me to the media, with all disrespect, kindly fuck off my page and enjoy seeing me everywhere because I'm making noise. I'm going to be loud and in your face about it. What adults do in their own time is their choice, and you have no right to dictate those choices for them, regardless of career choice. So I'll be speaking to media. I'll be telling my story. And hey, at least I didn't try to neglect my duties of paying back what I borrowed to get educated, right? I made the adult choice of getting a side hustle. And guess what? It's working out okay so far. End of quote. I'm here for it. Here for all parts of it. Baby, in order to, the mama said, in order to make change, you got to make noise. I ain't mad at it. Get it how you live, Megan. Get it how you live. If you out there making your girl, go ahead and make. You was making more money anyway. Might as well go ahead on, girl. Go now. Go on. Ciao. Anyway, that's the story of the teacher, the teacher. With the OnlyFans. Ciao, ciao, girl, girl, ciao. I got two stories left, and then we'll be out of here. So let's get into a little bit of this situation going on in the Middle East. Amnesty International says Israeli forces. Who's calling me? And why are they calling me? So, according to Amnesty International, Israeli forces are now wounding Lebanese civilians with white phosphorus. Let me read this to you. The human rights group Amnesty International said Tuesday that civilians in southern Lebanon were injured this month when Israeli forces, this was posted yesterday, so during the month of October, when Israeli forces hit a border village with shells containing white phosphorus, a controversial incendiary munition. The organization said it verified 3 other instances of Israel's military dropping white phosphorus on Lebanese border areas in the past month. But Amnesty said it did not document any harm to civilians in those cases. Human rights advocates say the use of white phosphorus is illegal under international law when the white hot chemical substance is fired into populated areas. It can set buildings on fire and can burn human flesh down to the bone. Survivors are at risk of infection and organ or respiratory failure, even if the burns are small. Let me read that again because you got people over here defending this mess. Human rights advocates say the use of white phosphorus is illegal under international law when the white hot chemical substance is fired into populated areas. It can set buildings on fire and burn human flesh down to the bone. Survivors are at risk of infections and organ or respiratory failure, even if their burns are small. This is what your country, the United States of America, is giving full-throated support to. Full-throated, giving money and everything else they can give to them so that they can commit these types of war crimes. And they're using this in densely populated areas. Mind you, this is not the Gaza Strip that's being affected by the illegal white phosphorus. This is Lebanon, a whole nother country that is being affected by the illegal use of white phosphorus by the Israeli government. Mind you, we learned today the Israeli government targeted a refugee camp and injured hundreds of people, killed more than 50 just to catch what they thought was one man who was there. And Hamas is saying, oh, he wasn't there, but you bombed a refugee camp for one person, killed dozens of people, injured hundreds for one person. Now we have reports that white phosphorus is affecting the health of people in other countries. Mind you, it's illegal. After an October 16th Israeli strike in the town of Duhaira, houses and cars caught fire and 9 civilians were rushed to the hospital with breathing problems from the fumes, Amnesty International said. The group said it had verified photos that showed white phosphorus shells lined up next to Israeli artillery near the tense Lebanon-Israel border. The organization described the incident as an indiscriminate attack that harmed civilians and should be investigated as a war crime. A paramedic shared photos with the Associated Press of first responders in oxygen masks and helping an elderly man, his face covered with a shirt, out of a burning house and into an ambulance. Quote, "This is the first time we've seen white phosphorus used on areas with civilians in such large amounts. Even our guys needed oxygen masks after saving the civilians." End of quote. And that is according to a paramedic who was among those responding, those emergency workers responding to the victims. The Amnesty International report is the latest in a series of allegations by human rights groups that Israeli forces have dropped shells containing white phosphorus on densely populated residential areas in Gaza and Lebanon during the ongoing Israel-Hamas war. Israel maintains it uses the incendiaries only as a smokescreen, not to target civilians. That doesn't even make sense. You're using it as a smokescreen. Hello, these are densely populated areas with millions of civilians there. And when you put the white phosphorus out there, it's already been proven it causes irreparable damage to these people. Buildings can catch on fire. It burns you to the bone. Even if you get small amounts, you have irreparable respiratory damage and possible internal organ failure. But it's a smoke screen. The Israeli where am I at? The human rights group said it also verified cases of white phosphorus shelling on the border of Aita al-Shab and over open land close to the village of Al-Mari. It said the shelling caused wildfires. If this substance, simply by touching concrete buildings, can set buildings on fire, can set wildfires to plants when it lands on them, what do you think it's going to do to human bodies? The United Nations peacekeeping mission in Lebanon, UNIFY, was called in to help with firefighting efforts as local firefighters couldn't go near the front lines. Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch have also reported an alleged case of white phosphorus shelling in a populated area of the Gaza Strip during the current Israel Hamas war, but have not verified civilian injuries from it. Doctors working in hospitals in the besieged Palestinian territory told the Associated Press they saw patients with burn wounds they thought were caused by white phosphorus, but they did not have the capacity to test for it. In 2013, the Israeli military said it would stop using white phosphorus in populated areas in Gaza, except in narrow circumstances that it did not reveal publicly. The decision came in response to an Israeli High Court of Justice petition about use of the munitions. The military disclosed the two exceptions only to the court and did not mark an official change in policy. This is happening, people. And your president, let me say this, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say this again. Joe Biden, we are watching. Citizens of this country are watching you give full-throated support for genocide, for apartheid, and for the killing of innocent civilians. At this point, they have already documented that there have been more children killed in this war than there were people killed in 9/11 in its totality. Nearly 4,000 children is probably up now because they say statistics say every 10 minutes another child in the Gaza Strip dies due to this war. So it's probably over that now. I haven't even included the women and elderly people or the just innocent people who have nothing to do with Hamas. But you have people losing their jobs. You have congressmen and women getting censured because they're asking for a ceasefire. You have our country sending hundreds of troops, thousands of troops over there, billions of dollars, and giving full-throated support to the genocide. There's no end game here. You know what Israel's end game is? To take over the Gaza Strip. That's Israel's end game. There's already people have been playing when Benjamin Netanyahu gave a speech to the United Nations earlier this year prior to the October 7th event, where he showed a picture of the Middle East and there was no Gaza Strip there. They had completely removed the Gaza Strip from it and had occupied all of the Gaza Strip based on the map that Benjamin Netanyahu showed the United Nations. So if you feel like at this point they're trying to do anything except completely occupy the Gaza Strip, you are fooling yourselves. They told the people, oh, leave the north and go to the south, and then they start bombing the south. Oh, go further south. Just go to the Rafah border with Egypt and just do your best to leave. Meaning, we're going to bomb the hell out of this shit, make it unable to be uninhabitable, I should say. And then we're just going to take over this and annex the Gaza Strip into Israel. I fully expect, with the full-throated support of these yet to be United States and your president, Joseph Robinette. Now, I don't know why we expect America to be the moral compass on this. America gave full-throated support to slavery for hundreds of years. Full-throated support for segregation, Jim Crow laws. America is the same country trying to take the rights of women away from them as we speak. So I don't know why you expect this country to be the moral compass. And we have a president like ours that just sits back and lets it happen and then tries to say, oh, well, there's nothing I can do about that. But I can give full-throated support to the whole genocide of an entire people and colonialism in modern times. Like I told y'all, whenever y'all hear me speaking about politics, I tell you it's about your state and local elections. It's about state and local elections. I ain't gonna tell nobody what to do about the presidential election because Joe Biden ain't shit and neither is Trump. So what we need to concentrate on Congress, getting the right people in the House, getting the right people in the Senate, so we can get some laws passed and we can have enough people there that it won't matter who the hell is in the goddamn White House. Because these people in the White House seem to not give a damn about us. Also, we need to be concerned with our government elections. State government elections, be they the governor's office, be it your state legislatures, because these are the people who affect us on an everyday basis. I'm telling y'all, these people are giving full-throated support for genocide, but they want to be the moral compass of the world. Get the fuck out of here, Joseph Robinette. And mainstream media is backing them 1,000%. You got Washington that can't even come together to decide what day of the week it is, but white ass people in this U.S. Capitol are all about modern day colonialism, genocide in Palestine. All here for it. They can come together, to flex their white supremacy, because that's what we have going on here. If we really want to be honest, this is a flex on white supremacy. Black people, we see what this is. We know exactly what it is, and we identified it from Jump Street. When this shit first went down, black people by and large looked at it and say, I recognize this. Yeah, I see what's going on. Yeah, we recognized it from afar off. Please understand, Joe Biden, there may be a penalty to pay. You may lose out on votes that could have easily been votes that could have been cast for you, that could have easily carried you over the threshold. I'm just saying. In our last story of the day, I wanted to bring this story out to get y'all's opinion on this. I find this very curious, this story right here. This is coming out of the great state of Minnesota, up there with our good friend Cam's. Governor Tim Walz signed an executive order Monday eliminating four-year college degree requirements for more than 75% of state jobs, according to a release sent by his office. The executive order will open up job opportunities for Minnesotans who want to choose state service. Quote, there are many opportunities to build meaningful careers through state service. We're making sure these opportunities are available to more Minnesotans so we can grow our so we can grow our workforce, tap into valuable skills, and recognize that not all Minnesotans need a four-year degree to be successful. By removing these requirements, we're expanding opportunities for people to enter the workforce, choose state service, and build a good-paying, family-sustaining career. End of quote. And that's what the governor had to say. According to the release, the executive order aims to update hiring guidance to emphasize skills and work experience. It also aims to help current employees develop long-term career paths through individual development plans and career training. How do y'all feel about that, a governor doing that? And is that something that you all would encourage in your own states? Is that something that you would encourage in your own state, where state governments and a lot of these government jobs, as the old people used to say, are now saying, yeah, you don't need a four-year degree? Your thoughts? Tracy said that's because people are not going to college anymore. It feels like it depends on the career. But you know what, Tracy? The statistic says that there's more people going to college now than there used to be, as especially amongst minorities. Interesting. Now, here's now when I think it's a double-edged sword because you say that there's going to be more emphasis on skills and work experience. If I'm young, I don't have a lot of skills and or work experience, especially if I'm straight out of high school. If you're straight out of high school, what is your skill set? You don't have no work experience. Not for some of the jobs that they need to work down, to get some of those government jobs. As Jay said, depends on the career field. I think that I think it's I think it needs to be monitored and looked at. I do think some jobs should still. They said 75% of the state job. That's a large percent. I don't know that it needs to be 75%. I do think that that doesn't mean that there aren't already state jobs or government jobs that you can be hired for without having a college degree. There are many government jobs that you can get right now without having a college degree. But to take the stance that 75% of the state government jobs, that's a lot. My question is, are you going to water down or diminish the strength of the caliber of candidates that you'll have? Do you get an extra leg up if you do have a college degree? Like if I'm going to get this job and I'm pit against someone that, if it's my college degree against someone without a college degree and has work experience, are you going to choose the work experience over the college degree? I'm just asking. And then for a lot of entry level jobs, entry level jobs, a lot of people may not have work experience. It just depends. I just wanted to I saw that today and I wanted to get your thoughts on it because it really made me go, that's interesting. That is very interesting. Well, listen, that's all I got for y'all today. That is all I got for y'all today. I am tired. Wonder how retention will be with that logic. I think it depends. I think it depends. I think if you're gonna do that, you certainly need to have a career trajectory and so forth that will speak to promoting experience over college degrees. But we'll see. That's all I got for y'all. Um, we have the panel tomorrow on we have the panel for Chasing Atlanta tomorrow. It'll be on every reviews channel. Um, so stay tuned for that. Am I gonna go live tomorrow? I might. We'll see. I ain't gonna make no promises. If you see me, look for me. If you don't see me, don't look for me. But I think I will try to go live tomorrow. Anyway, that's all I got for y'all. As I always say, I love y'all. I love on y'all. Thank you all for being vocal, present, and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for any and all contributions that you make to the channel. They are much obliged and much appreciated. College degree without work experience is a catch-22. Exactly. It's forcing people into dead end jobs. Interesting. Wonder how the retention will be with that logic. Many jobs do not want to train people. That's interesting. It sounds good on paper, but when the rubber hits the pavement, what does that mean? And specifically, I want to know what it means for Black people because when stuff like this happens and you remove degrees from the job requirement, people really start to look at other things, and those other things turn into, oh, your name is Lasha Quante on this resume. Yeah, I'll go with Rebecca instead of Lasha Quante. I'll go with Tom instead of Devontae. Y'all know how that's how that goes. They and in many of these states like Minnesota, the Supreme Court have already given them the go ahead to eliminate affirmative action. So now they don't have to hire people based on um, their race. So what that means is they could be just as white as they want, and now they're going to say, "Oh, well, we removed college degrees, so y'all know how this stuff ends up going." A lot of nepotism. A lot of nepotism ends up happening. Let me get out of here, y'all. Listen, y'all. Um, that's all I got for y'all. That's all I got. Until next time. Thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out.